Hello and welcome to your special St. Patrick's Day recharge, which is our rolling class. My name is Erin Go Bragh, and today for class you are going to need a squishy ball as an option, a block, and I recommend all three sets of your yoga tune-up balls because you never know which one you're going to need. All right, we're going to get started with a little check. So the first thing I want you to grab is a block. And you're going to hold the block like this in your hands widthwise. And you're going to stand, I'm going to stand in profile so you can see me. Without thinking too much about your stance, I want you to start to lift and lower your arms. And just notice what kind of range of motion you have here. And then notice when you lift and lower, if you're hiking your shoulders, flaring your ribs, or leaning back. So soften your knees, try to root down through your feet, and then lift and lower without changing anything. So you'll notice my blocks coming to about here. If I force it, if I lift my shoulders or force my ribs, it will go up higher, but I don't want you to force it. This is a check. All right. And then go ahead and set the block between your feet. Reach your arms forward, sit back into a squat and hold it there. Look down and notice what part of your feet you can see. Can you see your toes? Can you see the middle of your foot? Can you see the tops of your ankles? And then stand up. And then I like to glide my hands down my shins. And the idea here is that you get your hips back, but just notice how your feet and your shins feel. Last one. Pay attention how you feel now because it's going to be really nice at the end. Okay. And then come on down to the ground for cat-cow. So you're going to take an inhale, extend your spine. Exhale, flex your spine. Do that again. Take an inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. One more time. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. And then your final check for this series of things we're going to roll. Sorry, pardon me. I'm going to have to hike up my skirt. You're going to extend your legs in front of you. Cross your right ankle on top of your left like this. Option one is to stay here. Option two is to take the bottom leg and fold it under. And just notice what's happening with this leg. Is your knee down? Is it up? How does it feel in your hip? And then switch sides. So you're going to cross one ankle, the other leg. Wow, I feel really tight on this side. Okay, and then sit up tall. So you don't want to compensate by sitting into your low back. Try to sit up tall. Crown of your hat to the ceiling. Do you like this hat? I've had it since senior year of college when I threw a school-wide or senior class-wide keg party on the front lawn of our university. Green kegs, of course, green kegs of beer. Okay, and now we're going to go into a little rolling. So we're going to start standing. We're going to do a little bit of a foot roll. So I recommend, today we're going to use toe balls, like the smaller, the medium set works. And then we're going to go right into a chest roll. I like either a medium or a large. You also need a block for that. Okay, so go ahead and stand up, start on your right side, just so we're consistent. And you're going to push your foot down and roll the length of your foot from your heel that you're getting the plantar fascia. If you're a first time foot roller, it feels really tight. It's probably a good idea that you do a little bit more rolling. If you have a new set of balls, this is the perfect way to break them in. And the nice thing about having the balls toted is that you can turn your ankle or your foot in or out and get the outside of your foot. Sometimes that feels really good. I'll put the outside of my foot right between the balls and roll up and down. And then put the ball of your foot down. I like to put my opposite foot on top and then take a little rock left and right with your foot like this, from your big toe to your little toe. And with a little bend in your knee, you also get a little bit of a stretch for your calves and your Achilles. And then bring your heel between the balls, soften your knee, and kind of wiggle your heel side to side. So we're not going to spend a lot of time in any of these particular areas. We're going to spend enough that you'll start to feel the benefits of the rolling. But if you feel like there's something you want to spend more time on, feel free to hit pause and just hang out there a little longer before you continue. It's really up to you. All right. And then go ahead and switch sides. You're going to roll the length of your foot first. I didn't really have good green socks. I wore these like forest green ones because this is the closest I could find. Oh, My St. Patrick's Day game is strong. I had many things to choose from, but when it came to the socks, not so much. All right, and then put the ball of your foot down. Again, I like that little foot on top, little skin roll, skin massage rolling, go side to side, kind of anchors my foot down. Notice if anything feels tender. Um, Really important that you try to spread your toes wide. You want to avoid, in general, for healthy feet, you want to avoid shoes with pointed toes and definitely something that's in a downward slant. So I like the high heels with the pointed toes are really bad for your feet. All right, and then put your heel between the balls, soften through your knee, kind of rock side to side. If you feel any tenderness in your heels, that can be plantar fasciitis starting. Usually starts in the heel. Foot roll every day if you feel that coming on, because you'll avoid much greater inconvenience and pain, discomfort later. And also stretch your calves. Calves are also related to tight feet. It's all connected. All right, after this, we're going to go into a little chest roll. You need a block, a wall, and a ball. You can go medium or large. We're going to put the ball right underneath your clavicle right here. Okay, set those balls to the side. Just lift and lower your heels a little bit. Roll your ankles in one direction. Notice if anything now feels tight. Sometimes when you move up the body, your shins or something else will feel tight. And you're going to grab one ball out of the toe. I'm going to use the alpha ball today, which is the big one. And you're going to take your block up against the wall. This is going to give you your face a little space from the wall. You're going to put the ball right underneath your clavicle on the right. So there's this kind of tender area, and you're going to address the wall at whatever height works for you. I like to stagger my feet. You're going to push in to the wall with your body, and then take the arm, the arm where the ball is, and you're going to move your arm. So you're pinning the ball, and then you're starting to mobilize your arm up and down. You can kind of backstroke it. You can go forward. And just notice if anything is sticky or stuck. We spend a lot of time internally rotated, texting, typing, side sleeping. And then just kind of go left and right here. I like to hold the ball sort of gently with one hand so I don't worry about dropping the ball. These muscles, when they're tight, they can pull your head forward, they can pull your whole posture forward, and they can even impact the way you breathe, which can cause like stress to other parts of your body. And the last thing I like to do, I like to put my hand behind me and just kind of turn my head side to side. Notice if anything feels tight in your neck. And then feel free to do whatever you want. We're going to spend about another 15 seconds here, and then we will switch sides. So if there's a part that feels sticky or stuck, you can move the ball a little bit closer to the center line of your body. You can kind of dock it. A lot of people feel very tender right here in their shoulder. That's a good place to just kind of hang out. Something sustained compression is helpful. And then go ahead and switch sides. So I'm going to stagger my feet the other way, push into the ball, start to lift and lower your arm. So think about how many times you lift and lower your arm during the day, whether it's to grab something off the top shelf, to wash your hair, if you're playing water polo, pickleball, tennis, putting your suitcase in the overhead compartment, whatever it is, changing a light bulb. That shoulder mobility is really important. So start to backstroke like you're swimming. If you're a swimmer, obviously you need shoulder mobility. And notice if you're tighter or more tender one side versus the other. I'm definitely tighter on my right side than I am with my left. I just played some pickleball, so I might be extra tender there. And then just kind of move a little bit side to side. Take your hand behind you. You can turn your head side to side. And then I notice when I go a little bit closer to the center of my chest on the side, it feels tender. If this was too much with the wall standing, you can always use the squishy ball. That's why I gave you the option of grabbing the squishy ball, because that's nice and gentle. Does not have to hurt to work. Okay, so we rolled your feet, rolled your chest. All right, and then set the ball down. Grab your block that you were just holding. come back to your standing position, reach the block in front of you, again, without leaning back, hiking your shoulder, or flaring the ribs. Lift and lower your arms. Whoa! Do you notice the difference? My arms move with so much more freedom. Think about how helpful that is when, you're trying to take a nice long swim stroke, or you're trying to reach for that lob in tennis. So hopefully that feels better. Hopefully that's unlocked some stuff in the fronts of your shoulders. Put the block between your feet and then go back into that squat. Hold it. Notice how far you can get your hips back. Notice your relationship between your knees and your ankles. And then try a few of those squats. Slide your hands down. And ideally your hands aren't going like this, off a cliff, right? If your knees are forward, that's putting a lot of undue load in your knees. Shift your hips back. Stand on up. So notice how my fingers are going straight down because my knees are over my ankles. It's always a good check for what's going on in your feet and also in your shins. Okay, last one. Okay, go ahead and come on up. And now you're going to come down to the ground. Walk your ankles, knees, and thighs together. Tuck your toes. You've already rolled the bottoms of your feet. So if it's still tight or tender, you might need to do a little bit more rolling or a little bit more consistent. Be a little more consistent about your rolling. And then untuck your toes. Notice how your shins feel. We're going to grab a set of toted balls, either the small or the medium. Again, grab your block, and you're going to put the balls horizontally on top of the block like so. And then come to an all fours position, and you're going to roll up and down the block, getting your shins. So foot rolling, super important, but your feet are connected to your shins. So if things are tight upstream, that is also going to impact your alignment. It's going to impact the way you stand. It's going to impact the way you walk. And it's going to make a difference for your knees. So if you have tight shins and feet, a lot of times you end up with cranky knees. So you're going to roll from your knee to mid-shin to ankle. And if there's a place that feels good for you to stop, you can kind of rock back and forth a little bit, move your hips left and right. Kind of get the outside of the shin, the inside of the shin. If I have any Irish dancers out there, I'm sure feet, shins, calves, quads are always super tight. And then option, only if you like, is to stack your opposite leg and go a little bit back and forth. It doesn't have to hurt to work. So if this is excruciating, please do not participate. All right. Few more moments here. So go back to whatever feels good, and then we're going to switch sides. So I kind of like to sometimes push. I'll push my right hip out and kind of get an angle on the balls. Okay, and then go ahead and switch sides. Shins. Oh my gosh. Left shin is tighter. So funny. My right side of my chest is tight. My left shin is tight. They compensate for all sorts of things in all sorts of ways. Just make sure when you're in this all fours position that your elbows are soft. And if the all fours position doesn't work, if you've got a cranky shoulder or you can't be in this position, keep going. I'll show you the alternative. It's to extend your leg out like this and do a little rolling pin on your shins. The outside of the shins. So whatever works for you, feel free to try this option. You can go back and forth. Woo. Spicy. Remember to breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. So in general, that's the way you want to breathe, unless you're talking or doing a super intense sprint. Try to breathe in and out of your nose. It'll help your sympathetic, your parasympathetic, tap into your parasympathetic instead of being in the fight or flight all the time. Help calm you down. Even if you don't feel like you're stressed, you probably are in some way. All right, last few moments here on the left shin. And then we are going to move on to shoulders. Okay, so you're going to take the balls out of the tote like so. You can use any size you want. I'm going to use the medium size. And you're going to take your hand, find your clavicle like we did before, take your hand over the top. And there's this thing called the spine of the scapula. It's kind of like a little ridge, but it's under a lot of muscle, so you kind of have to dig down. It doesn't stick out like your clavicle does. And you're gonna put the balls there. Get your hair out of the way. And then you're gonna lie down on your back, like so. So balls right at the top of your spine, kind of wide. And then lay your head down, bridge your hips up, and take the block, put the block underneath your hips, reach your arms up. So you want the balls kind of like right underneath you, so you're in an angle where you have a good amount of pressure there. Reach your arms up, and then you're just going to kind of walk your arms left and right. Whew. Notice if they are tight. And then reach your arms up. We do this a lot. We do scapular push-ups a lot in our class, our warm-ups, to kind of connect with the shoulder blades. You're going to reach your fingertips toward the ceiling, and you're going to protract or kind of puff your shoulder blades in towards the floor, which really is the balls in this case. And they're going to retract, draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Do it again. Inhale, puff up the space behind your back. And then exhale, draw your arms down. This can be really intense, so make sure you are breathing. And then we're going to go side to side. So you're going to reach with your right hand and then with your left hand. So just kind of relax the opposite hand. You can go all the way up, all the way down. And notice if there's a little bit difference in the range of motion or a little bit difference in the sensation you feel. And then come back through center and just kind of, I call it seaweed arms or music festival arms. Just kind of go back and forth. So you've got this kind of pressure point, right? You're pinning the balls and then you're mobilizing your arms, and you can kind of recreate things that you do. Like if you're a swimmer or a dancer, right? You can recreate things that you do, touching your head, washing your hair, wiggle a bit side to side, and then just try rolling up, back and around a couple times, and then go the other way. Oh. All right, now you're going to ditch the ball and move the balls in on either side of your spine. So move them down about an inch, cradle your head with your hands, lift your hips up, and then push and pull just an inch or two. So you're like really targeting those muscles at just below the base of your neck. Think about how heavy your head is and how these little neck muscles and upper back muscles are holding up your heavy head all day long, which is then out of alignment because you're looking at your phone. So these muscles get very tender. So just be gentle. You can, again, always use a squishy ball or a bigger set of recharge balls. And then move the balls down right between your shoulder blades. So your pelvis is down now, back of your head's down. Reach your arms up and do that same little protraction of the shoulder blades, retraction. I want you to know where these muscles are in your upper back because we work them a lot at Alkalign, especially in our build classes. We've really been focusing on upper back strength because of the occurrence of weakness here. Like so many people have weakness in their upper back. It's causing shoulder issues, postural issues, neck and back issues. So we're trying to strengthen these muscles to hold you upright and then circle your arms. So the balls are right between your shoulder blades. You can kind of feel that winging and then go the other way. So you're pinning the balls again and mobilizing your joints to see how that feels, how your body responds. And then take the balls out. And last but not least, we're going to work the glutes. I'm sorry, but I think I'm going to have to strip off my little toile skirt that I bought in the kids section of Target. Take the balls, lift your hips up, and you're going to put one ball under each cheek on the lowest hemisphere, your glutes, okay? And then from here, move your hips side to side. Whew. So you're going to draw like a little diagonal line from the base of your spine, your sacrum, to the outside of your hip. This gets into your piriformis. The piriformis gets really tight and locked in when you're sitting a lot, whether it's in at a desk, in a car. Go really slowly. There's no such thing as a quick roll. You can do a short roll, but faster is not better. In fact, faster kind of dilutes the depth at which you can get into these things. And then if you can tolerate it with your glutes, take one ball out, keep the ball under your right glutes, cross your right ankle, and draw that little diagonal line from the base of your spine, just above your tailbone, to the outside of your hip. Again, getting into the piriformis, and then we're going to hold it to the right. So you're going to quarter turn. See, I'm kind of opening my hip to the right. Extend that leg. So the ball is right in the glute med right here. If you squeeze your glute med, it actually pulls in. So you're going to kind of open your inner thigh to the ceiling. Inhale, tighten your right glutes, and then relax and wiggle it out. Do that again. Inhale, tighten, 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 and then relax. So you're getting into the muscles and the fascia in your body and releasing things that are sticky and stuck. This helps with mobility, circulation, all sorts of things. But it also helps you to identify where these muscles are, because when we get into a class like our build class, we're trying to really target these muscles. If you don't know where they are and you don't know how to turn them on, you don't know how to contract them, your whole workout is diluted. So putting the ball there and saying squeeze here is helpful. It helps connect your brain into your body, which is a really underrated thing. People think, like, I'm just going to work out and it's going to be mindless and I'm going to listen to the instructor and they're just going to make the time go fast. No, you actually have to tune into you. All right, go ahead and switch sides. I'm going to take this ball out, cross my left ankle over, roll my left side, set the ball to the side if you want, maybe retote it so it doesn't roll away. By the way, glute rolling is a very awesome thing to do while you're doing that mindless scrolling of your emails. Like I first thing in the morning, I like clean out all my junk emails, or when you're playing your Wordle or scrolling through your social media, which is a total time suck, unless you come across an awesome video like this, then it's so worthwhile. But it's like great neck alignment, right? You're not looking down at your phone. You're not putting all that load on your neck. You're just surrendering to gravity with your big heavy head. And then you're getting a little glute work. Also great TV viewing position. And then you're going to quarter turn your body kind of to the left, lengthen your legs, squeeze your glutes, and relax. Wiggle it out. This is called contract, relax. So you're learning how to contract your glutes, particularly we're on the outside of the glutes. The glute med, this muscle is so important to strengthen and to roll. This muscle is essential for pelvic stability, which is directly related to back health, hip health, knee health. I know it doesn't sound sexy, people, but it's functional. And finally, after all these years of Alkalign, functional fitness is finally becoming like a household name. It was previously like only associated with CrossFit, but that's not what is getting all the attention now. It's like this practical, useful stuff that's an investment in your body so that you can go the distance and enjoy things you like doing. Wiggle side to side. All right. All right, we're going to do a series of rechecks starting from a standing position so we end on the floor. So go ahead and roll on over, tuck your toes under, pike your hips up, walk your hands in towards your feet. We're going to do exactly what we did at the beginning as you recheck. The other checks we did before were just an interim, so you could directly do something connected to your position. Okay, hold your block. Take an inhale. Exhale. Lift your arms up. So now you've rolled your chest and your shoulders. Probably feels just as good, if not better, right? Adding the upper shoulder roll definitely helps as well. But even just rolling your chest makes a huge difference. Then put the block between your feet, push your hips back, come into a squat, stand up. Again, try sliding. Now you've rolled your shins and your feet. So see if that allows you to get your hips back. What I want to avoid here is this. People squat and lunge like this with their knees forward, put so much load on the knees. Sometimes I even see people kind of lift their heels. That's because they're not able to get their hips back. So roll your feet and your shins. And then go ahead and scoot the block out of the way. Come into an all fours position, a little cat-cow. Inhale, extend, exhale. Just notice if you feel a little bit more connected to what's happening in your back body. Notice if your spine is sliding and gliding a little bit better. And then walk your ankles, knees, and thighs together. Tuck your toes, sit back on your heels. Hopefully your feet feel better even than that midpoint check. Untuck your toes, sit back on your shins. Notice if anything feels like it's pulling in the front of your knee. Again, that's usually a sign something's sticky or stuck, either upstream in your quads or downstream in your shins. And then you are going to come to a seated position. Reach your legs in front of you, cross your right leg over your left. Option to stay here. Option to tuck that other leg underneath. And this one is partly how it looks, but also really how it feels. That's in general. Listen to your own body. Like for me, I don't think if I measured from here to here, you'd notice a huge difference, but it feels so much more open in my hip, which means, you know, you're gonna have a lot more mobility in other things you do. You want stability and mobility. It's if you have a ton of mobility, you know, if you're hypermobile, that's bad. If you're too locked up and you can't move, that's not great. So it's really the combination. Okay, then cross your other leg. This is the one that was really, really tight. Not bad. I mean, we didn't spend a ton of time rolling the glutes. It definitely feels better, but I should probably do this, you know, 3 times a week, and then I wouldn't feel so tight. And then uncross and crisscross any way you like, or lengthen your legs. Take a big inhale, reach your arms up. Good, and exhale. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Happy St. Patrick's Day.